Hello friends, welcome to the another webisode of Insight with Glam Guru with me Abhishek, and today we are going to once again talk about a topic which I think you all must be waiting for, and something which has taken a lot of attention in past couple of years but never had an opportunity to discuss it, analyze it, and to also give it a thought whether it is relevant at the same time and how fruitful the journey has been so far in the last 8 years. And yes, as you all know, today we are talking about Miss Diva, Miss Universe India pageant, which started in 2013 when Times of India again took over the franchise of Miss Universe and started this pageant for preliminary to the Miss Universe pageant from India. But what happened later and the kind of journey this pageant had so far, that's the agenda we're going to share with you and we're going to be talking tonight. And today, who we have to talk about it? Well, I have someone very special to join me on this conversation today. She is, as you can see on our window, she is Vagisha Mishra. Hi, Vagisha, how are you?
Hi Abhishek, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. And before we start, I would like to introduce you to my viewers. Well, Vagisha is Honours and Masters in English Literature from the Delhi University, and recently she has fulfilled and accomplished a PhD degree from the National Institute for Technology, Raipur. She is a pageant analyst, expert, has been running her blog, Kaleidoscope of Pageantry, for the past couple of years, 2014, I believe, and she has been following the pageant from a couple of years, and she has great experience of interacting with the people in the industry and as well as the followers, fans, the experts, designers, and also to the people who are near to the brand and who understands pageantry better. So Vagisha, welcome to Inside with Glam. Before I start my discussion, I would like to ask you, how is the lockdown treating you? We are actually on a verge of now unlock, you can say. So how is the kind of situation right now at your place?
Thank you for your introduction, Abhishek. I'm doing absolutely great, and the lockdown has been a little bit problematic, but I'm glad that I was able to cater time for my own self in these 3 months. And now I'm finally back to my hometown. I am here with my parents after 6 long months, and I'm enjoying it. So it has been great.
Absolutely, and I think we are gonna, come back to a normal life. So let's start our conversation today about Miss Diva, Miss Universe India pageant. Guys, as you know, as I've already told you, it's a preliminary to the Miss Universe pageant, and the kind of expectations our fans and the followers around the world had with this franchise, with this brand, and what it has achieved in past couple of years. If I can give you a perspective, Miss Diva has had so far 4 victories. In 2013, Shrishti Rana won Miss Asia Pacific World, a minor pageant, and gave a great start for this brand, with also Mansi Moge, our first Miss Diva winner, placing at the top 10 and giving a kick start to the pageant, and everybody believed that India has arrived. But later on, the situation was not the way it was expected. Nayanita placed in the year 2015 or 14, but 2015, 16, 17, and 18, 4 years, India had to wait for a placement at Miss Universe. But by the time Miss Diva was able to produce 2 more victories, that was Miss Supranational 2014. Runner-up Asha Bhatt won that title for India in 2014, and in 2016, Srinidhi Ramesh Shetty won the Miss Supranational crown once again, giving a second crown in India's kitty. So that's the overall picture. 2 victories for Vagisha Supranational. But if I talk about Miss Universe, top 10 2013, and Nayanita top 15, and last only, Vartika making top 20. What is your first take on Miss Diva as a pageant which was formulated in the quest of next Miss Universe from India?
Until 2009, we had Femina Miss India selecting the winners both for Miss World and Miss Universe pageant. So when actually IMC took over the Femina Miss India organization, a lot of things were expected from the former Miss Universe Sushmita Sen, that she would produce a Miss Universe title holder very soon for us. But it did not work out, and soon the Times Group organization came up with Miss Diva pageant. Initially, in the very first year when Mansi was crowned as Miss Diva, She placed as a top 10 finalist. Now, after a very long time, we were placing in the top 10. So we expected that the Miss Diva pageant has started with a bang, and we may have a new Miss Universe in couple of years. But then again,
Yes.
after Mansi Mohan, we only had Noyonita Lode, as you said, as you quoted, that she was the only one who entered into the semi-finals. And then after
Yes.
the series of title holders, we have seen only non-placements, unplacements in
Yes.
this Universe pageant. So initially, we have seen that many of the title holders, international title holders who have emerged out of Miss Diva pageant, we did see them. We witnessed winners like Shrishti Rana and
Yeah.
then Srinidhi Shetty and Asha Bhatt. But then again, we were winning small pageants. We were winning
Yes.
minor pageants through the Miss Diva pageant. Now, if you focus on Miss Diva pageant, which is responsible for sending delegates to the biggest pageant in the world, which is the Miss Universe pageant. So, if you
Yes.
focus it from Miss Universe perspective, I think it is a failure because we are not here to cater small, minor pageants here. We are not here to cater smaller crowns here, but
Yes.
we are here to claim the Miss Universe title, which has been missing since 20 years now. So I think we have not
Absolutely.
actually hit the right approach, and we are not working in the right direction. And maybe somewhere we are lacking in our preparation. Yes.
Yes, Vagisha, do you Diva pageant was formulated in order to, give India the next Miss Universe? And every year there is a slogan coming in, huge campaign on advertising, and a lot of sponsor coming in. The quality of contestants and more than that, the quality of the production is improving year by year. 2016, great show. 2017, decent show. And 18 has been one of the best shows so far. Do you think the focus of the organization or maybe the people who are investing is more on the production and making the brand forthcoming and promising one rather the actual placement of India internationally, or the winners who are coming from this camp are not up to the mark of Miss Universe, or there's something still more needs to be done?
Yes, absolutely. As you said, we are working more on the production, how grand we can make the finale. We have seen many superstars, Bollywood superstars coming and performing at the finale. But when it actually comes to the training, we are somewhere lacking. Now this year, it has been a game changer for India. I would say that only if we get a good placement at Miss Universe 2020 or 2021, if the pageant is scrapped this year. So this year, it has been a great one because we appointed our delegate a year before, almost a year before the actual Miss Universe pageant is going to be organized. So this is great that we have chosen our delegate a year before. But if we observe the previous few editions of Miss Diva pageant, then we have seen that most of the Miss Diva winners are crowned only 1 or 2 months prior than the actual Miss Universe pageant, where they are competing with the delegates who have been preparing themselves for more than a year or 2 years or 3 years maybe. So this is a huge difference. This makes a huge difference. And when it comes to the selection of wardrobe, we are majorly focusing on the glamour portion. We are not majorly focusing on how the particular gown would look on the Miss Universe stage. Will the girl be able to work on it or not? Will she be comfortable in it or not? So this is where we are lacking. How a girl can mold herself to be a Miss Universe. That is something which we are lacking at. We are not sending a ready-made project to the Miss Universe pageant, but we should rather be making the queens. We should not be making the queens. The queens are born themselves. So that is where something is lacking. We are not actually found someone who has all the intrinsic qualities in them right from the birth.
Absolutely, Vagisha. And one more thing which I really want to add on to, that it's more has become a platform for the girls from the Femina Miss India camp to try their luck at Miss Diva camp, and then being able to deliver a title or get a title, and then get an opportunity to represent India maybe at Miss Universe. Now, talking more about the brand overall, do you think the brand Miss Diva solves the purpose for which it was formulated? You have been following this pageant from the beginning. Do you think that Miss Diva as a title or Miss Diva as a brand is sufficient enough, or is fulfilling the criteria for someone to recognize that it is actually a winner of a national pageant who goes for Miss Universe?
Now, when I talk about the name of the pageant itself, Miss Diva, It looks more like a teenage pageant, the diva push.
Yeah.
We are not here to find a diva for the Miss Universe pageant. We are here to find a queen for Miss Universe pageant, someone who is confidently beautiful, as the slogan of Miss Universe suggests. So this branding itself is initially very wrong. Like if you say that we are finding the diva, and the kind of teaser and promote on their social media handles and on even on the telecast, it looks more like they are launching models. It is no different to India's Next Top Model. If we compare both the teasers, it looks very similar. So I think that branding itself is mistaken, and when girls actually follow pageant, many of the common people who don't follow pageants to the core, they are aware about Femina Miss India, but they are not aware what Miss Diva pageant is, because the name is not associated to Miss Universe. Even
absolutely. But Vagisha, I would like to interrupt here, and I would like to add on to what you have said. They did try to utilize Miss Diva along with Miss Universe India title. 16, 17, 18, and I think not 18, but yeah, 16, 17, 18, and this are also they've used it, but it didn't work in their favor. Do you think it has benefited them in order to make people connect that is actually a pageant for India's entry to Miss Universe?
You know, I would love to see Femina Miss India taking up both the franchise again, both of Miss World and Miss Universe, and club them together, because the past few title holders we have had till date, like Sana Dua, and I have seen many of the girls who have done very great in Femina Miss India pageant. They were worthy of being sent to the Miss World pageant. Meenakshi Chaudhary, most of the pageant fans, they do want her to see at the Miss Universe stage. So the first runner-ups we have had
demanding for Meenakshi, I mean, to come and join the pageant once again, and they really want to see Meenakshi either at Miss World or specifically at Miss Universe.
Right. So
Meenakshi,
which we have had, yes.
Yes, Meenakshi, we'll hold that thought. I have got a comment right now, and I think it is exactly what you are also talking there, Kritika. She's saying, do you think a separate pageant like Miss Diva for selecting Miss India Universe is a good idea, or the conventional approach was better? So you can carry on with you were saying about the conventional approach of having Miss India, both the titles.
Yeah, the conventional approach was very great. Now, if we see the era of 90s, Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen, both they came from the same pageant. They underwent a tiebreaker question. The same happened in the year 2000 when our three of the title holders went on to win their respective international titles. So I think holding a pageant in a conventional way, as you suggested, as Kritika said, I think it is a better way of dealing with it. Because we have had great contestants when it comes to Femina Miss India pageant. Also, the state format which we have introduced is absolutely fantastic. And the quality of contestants we get from each state, we can actually utilize them to the best of their talents. We can do justice to the talent which they actually have, which is what we are missing in Miss Diva pageant. Because the auditions which Miss Diva pageant holds, it looks more secretive, behind the doors, and it is not much talked about. On the other hand, Femina Miss India is more reachable to people. People are more aware about it. And the contestants which come to audition for Femina Miss India, they are actually of the worth that they can represent India at esteemed pageants, not only at Miss Universe, but the Miss Supranational franchise which Miss Diva pageant possesses. So I think that would be
absolutely, Vagisha. And I also would like to add on to what you are saying, that I think the purpose behind this motive of having Miss Diva, if you can recall, and I would like to tell our viewers also, initially Miss Diva was formulated as Indian Diva. It was actually Indian Diva, and starting I think 1 or 2 auditions have also had the brand name Indian Diva. And as the name Indian Diva signifies a woman or diva coming from India. Someone who has as a representation or a validation from a country is Indian. But when we changed the name because of some issues with the brand, with that title and making it Miss Diva, I think from start only, it was never able to stick to the audiences or to the general masses that this is as equal or as independent or as big as Miss India pageant. That's the reason I think Miss always suffered the kind of recognition and the kind of acceptance from the viewer side. Let's take one more question, Vagisha. We have got Vivek. He has just joined us and he's asking that MD Miss Rina speaks too much about Miss Universe during the finale, and they should give some importance to footage to Supra as well, and especially when they are invited. He feels kind of ignore about them. Do you feel the same as well? That Supra is most of the time or sometimes sidelined. The focus is on Miss Universe, but fortunately, 2 Supra crowns, and that too from Diva.
Right, absolutely, I agree with Vivek that whenever a Miss Supranational title holder is invited, she's never asked to actually take her walk at the Miss Diva stage. She's treated somewhere like an alien who is just sitting there on the judging panel, and she has nothing to do with what is happening there. We never get to hear from her how she's feeling, how she is having her experience at the finale of Miss Diva, how is India treating her. So when we actually observe a title holder, an international title holder who has graced our finale, we expect her to deliver some words of wisdom that they are looking for in the Miss Supranational title holder. So that is where I think we are lacking, and we need to introduce our Miss Supranational title holders very decently on the stage when we are conducting our grand finale.
Absolutely, and Vagisha, I think that's the reason also that we have seen the more focus is on Miss Universe. There is no doubt of the fact, but the result and the kind of selection they have done, I think there is some major strategies need to be taken. Let's take one more important aspect of the pageant, Vagisha, while we're discussing Diva Universe. We have seen the other pageants who are national pageants, for example, Filipinas had the franchise so far for Miss Universe. This year, we have a new player coming in with Miss Universe India. Miss Universe Philippines, Shamsi Suksuk is the national director. In Australia, they have a dedicated person from Miss Universe Australia. USA, since it's the same organization who conducts Miss Universe, do you think that all the other organizations who are primarily looking at Miss Universe have tried to make it more apt for Miss Universe? On the contrary, Miss Diva is trying hard, but what is it which Miss Diva is lacking in terms of maybe strategy or maybe some other thing? What is your analysis on the misses which Miss Diva is having as of now?
I think the first aspect, which I would say is the preliminary competition. It is not in line with the Miss Universe pageant. Now this time when we observed the pageant, it was quite similar to the Miss Universe pageant. So the pattern is the first thing. The second thing I think is the lack of time. So this time we have over-covered it. We have actually amended whatever problem we were seeing. So in the previous title holders, I think many of the girls who were crowned, like Roshmita, Shraddha, they tried too hard to be India at Miss Universe stage. So I think that is where they lacked. They did not come across as very natural or spontaneous personalities at the Miss Universe stage, or if any pageant you're competing in. I think the first thing which any pageant looks for is spontaneity. How much natural you can be. How can you be yourself? We are not here to copy somebody. So Mansi had her intrinsic spontaneous quality, which I think many of our title holders lack. Similarly, with Vartika, she was very beautiful and she was also herself. She did not try too hard on her accent as she was criticized. So that is what garnered her a placement. So I think that is where our title holders are lacking.
Absolutely, and I think that is very much important because the format has changed now. After WME IMG taking over the Miss Universe pageant, they have transformed the pageant, and it is now has become more about a platform to voice your choices and opinions. As Lara says, I always quote her, and that's exactly the thing which has happened. If you look at Zozibini Chunzi, the current Miss Universe, the way she speaks, and she's so vocal about the advocacy, she's so vocal about herself and her mind and what she has to say. And that's the reason I think she has won and walked away with the crown. Now talking about the kind of preparation which Miss Diva is doing, what is your take on that? Earlier, the pageant used to happen in September, October, hardly a month or two for the contestants to prepare for the international finals. But this time, they had it in the month of February. We have Adeline Castellino, who is already represent us. The date is yet unknown, but she still has so much of time. So do you think the preparation, if you can analyze till 2019, what is your take on the kind of preparation in terms of costume, in terms of gowns, and in terms of the overall preparation? Was it as equal and as top-notch to give a fight to Venezuela, Philippines, Puerto Rico, and any other powerhouse of Miss Universe?
I believe that the wardrobe which is selected for our title holders, many of our title holders are just selected, as I said, 1 or 2 months before.
Yes.
So by the time they are crowned, they are actually compelled to choose any wardrobe which fits them, which looks great, which looks nice and decent on stage. But when we see many other title holders from different countries like Philippines and Colombia, they have been practicing in that particular gown for months.
Yes.
So they know how to not only walk on the stage of Miss Universe, they know what different they can do with that given gown. Like
Absolutely.
when we see Catriona walk, she was very much comfortable in her lava gown. So that lava gown did not do wonders. It was not only the lava gown which did wonders on the Miss Universe stage, but it was the walk and how much sass she carried in herself when she walked in that gown. That is what garnered her a crown. So this is where we are lacking. So if we have selected Adeline a year before, we should actually choose a custom-made gown for her, which can be used on the Miss Universe stage, and we should give her more options which she could work with on the Miss Universe stage, and she should start practicing in the same gown. Another thing is now that the social media scenario is changing. More of the focus and concentration is on how a delegate can project herself on social media. It is not the era of 90s where you can just simply come and just showcase your walk or your poise on the Miss Universe stage and just get away with it. It is the time when you have to create an impact. And to create an impact, you need to have a social media impact, which is not only influencing your own fans, your national fans, but also international fans. How much appealing you can be in your thought, and how much appealing and interactive you can be with international fans. So that is something which we can work on.
Absolutely. And if I talk about the national costume, do you think India has progressive at the national costume segment of Miss Universe? We had a first time, Mansi Moge transforming into a girl from, from the mountains. Then Ranita Loth actually making a top 5. But then Urvashi Rautela, a dramatic costume. Nehal Chudasama came very close, but couldn't win the title for national costume. And of course, Vartika Singh last year, the princess attire of Rajasthan. Do you really believe that the costumes, the national costume, has emerged from the past couple of years, or what more do you think needs to be done if India is really thinking about making a mark there?
I think Malvin has done wonders in the national costume segment. The costumes which we have seen are very different from each other, and especially Nehal's national costume, it actually gave me goosebumps, because the way she projected her national costume, the national costume itself was a masterpiece, but the way she carried it with so much of grandeur and so much of poise, it was absolutely fantastic. And I think we have evolved a lot, have come a very long way in terms of national costume, because when we see national costumes in 90s or 80s, they are simply just saris or lehengas. But now we are experimenting with different saris, so that is a good thing.
Absolutely, and also I think we are progressive on very level. But one thing I would like to add on to what you are saying, I find the more promising national costumes on Miss United Continent stage, or maybe on Miss Grand International stage. But I think it lacks more of concepts and creativity and more of dramatization at Miss Universe level, rather than what we see at the other pageants. Also at Miss Supranational, we have very fabulous and stunning national costumes. Do you think so?
Absolutely. I remember Asha Bhatt's national costume. It was so beautiful and so out of the world. It was very unique, although it was very simple. The kind of Manipuri skirt which she was donning at the Miss International stage, and it had butterfly structure. It was absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely. Now, Vagisha, let's talk about, before we conclude our discussion, I would like to talk about now, do you think, what is it now required in terms of Miss Diva to progress? You have already said that you would like to have both the titles along with the Femina Camp. But what if Miss Diva continues? What kind of approach do you think or would you suggest in order to make Miss Diva more impactful? And what are the major three changes which you feel should be on the priority for the organization for next year?
I believe that we should not only focus on making the production great at Miss Diva, but we should rather be focusing more on the training. And the training on the ramp walk should not be very conventional. It needs to be custom made. It should every individual should know how to work with swimsuit or gown on the stage. We cannot choose the same walk for every delegate. So this is one thing. Another thing is making a social media impact, which I think Adeline is doing a great job at it. She is making an impact and she's talking about the rights of farmers, which is a good thing. So I actually am very keen to see her at the Miss Universe stage, how her social media impact is going to help her, because I've seen many of the international fans praising her for her advocacy. Another thing which we can work on is choosing our delegate according to the international pageant, like choosing a Miss Supranational candidate. Not only because she's a runner-up, we should send her to Miss Supranational pageant. She should have those qualities which Asha and Srinidhi had when they were competing at Miss Supranational stage. Because every pageant is different from one another. We cannot recycle our queens again and again. We should think of a girl who is absolutely fit for that particular title. So that is something.
Would you even consider Vagisha to club at least Miss Supranational with Femina Miss India and let Miss Diva or Miss Universe India be solely all about Miss Universe and giving the whole conceptualization as per the requirement for Miss Universe?
That would be a great idea, because when we see national pageants like Bini Bini Filipinas, where they have so many franchises, so they do a great job at it. And especially when we have had state pattern at Femina Miss India pageant, we have already 30 contestants competing for the title, and in last 2-3 years we have seen absolutely great contestants at the Femina Miss India stage, especially from the Northeast, who are not actually able to win the crown. So if we have the more franchise in Femina Miss India pageant, I think we will be able to do justice with the talents which we are scouting from different states, and that would be a great idea.
Absolutely, Vagisha. And now I'm going to talk about something very important for the Miss Universe pageant, which has given them a lot of TRPs, lot of money, and lot of recognition in the media circuit, and that is the telecast of Miss Universe. Unfortunately, Miss Universe has not been telecast in India from 2017 onwards. There is no live telecast. No channel is taking Miss Universe live. And Miss Diva, fortunately, the last two edition or the last edition of 2018 and 2020, these two editions were actually not live, but at least exclusive on the same day. Slight 2 hour delay, but at least there was a same day telecast. But talking about the final of Miss Universe not being telecast, do you think it's a very important thing to be considered at this moment? India is willing to win the Miss Universe crown. Can we see actually India winning Miss Universe without having a telecast in India?
That's absolutely unfair to not have the Miss Universe telecast on television. Because we as pageant fans can get live streaming links, but what about people who don't follow pageant? How are they going to be interested in it? What if a girl aspires to be a beauty queen, but she's not aware of on how to work on herself? She can watch many videos, but the live stream itself creates so much of enthusiasm and excitement that it has to be watched live if you are an avid pageant fan or if you want to be a beauty queen. Also, if the Miss Universe organization might see it as a devalue of their own brand, because we are not showing it on television and we expect to place in their own parent pageant. So that is something which creates a very bad image in terms of media and how we are taking casually, we are taking Miss Universe pageant very casually. So this is something which is not good.
Absolutely, and we have seen that, you know, when Zee Cafe dropped both the pageant, Miss Universe and Miss World, in the year 2017. 2017, Miss India made an effort to have Miss World pageant on Zoom and Romedy. Now it has been there. Miss Supranational also started coming, telecasting live. on Zoom, but we have not seen Miss Universe coming back to them. Yes, in 2013, I would like to tell my viewers, when Mansi Moge competed, Miss Universe was live on Zoom. But from the past 3 years, there is no live telecast. And as Vagisha said, it is very important in order to make an awareness to the general public, to the people to understand what Miss Universe is. And if people are not going to watch Miss Universe being crowned in front of them, how they are going to expect their delegate to win and desire for it. If you can recall, Sushmita Sen also said, when my father watched Miss Universe on television, he said that I am so proud. I wish, you can also make me proud. And she said he was crying to see India winning. India, Madhu Sapre, of course, winning the runner-up. That kind of image and impact this, such things does. But it is unfortunate that so far there is no telecast. So that's indeed a very good point. And I finally concluding the discussion today, Vagisha, before going with this live, I would like to ask you for the last time, what is your final opinion about, do you think Miss Diva will have a great time in future as well, or do you think they really need to think about major changes in order to get the title back to India and to get Miss Universe as a brand more recognizable in India? Your final thoughts.
One major change I would love to introduce, if the organization is to introduce any changes in the Miss Diva pageant, it would be introducing the state pattern. Because when we can have state pattern in Femina Miss India, we can have the similar state pattern in Miss Diva, which is much more required.
Yes.
When we see other countries like Philippines, USA working on their state title holders, they have city title holders who then go on to compete at the state level. So this is the kind of craze that other countries are working at. They come from different regions. So this is something which Miss Diva should think about. And if they cannot do it, then they should combine both the pageants, Miss Diva and Femina Miss India, and choose two different delegates from each state. One who can go for Femina Miss India and other who can go for Miss Universe India. So this is one change I would love to.
That the pride of being called as Miss India is also very important, and that is also very required. We have Nishant who has just joined in, so let's have a look at his comment also. He said that I have a problem with the title provided by Miss Diva, which is Miss Diva Universe. Do you agree? When Nishant, you have already discussed it, that Miss Diva Universe is not as significant as Miss Universe India or Miss India Universe could be. And that's what we have already discussed, that we really need to have, Miss India being crowned as Miss Universe representative, maybe in a separate pageant or transformed something else. But I think that is a very important thing to do, and that's what Vagisha has also recommended us on our show. Thank you so much, Vagisha, for joining us on Inside with Glamguru. It was great and pleasure having you tonight. Your comments, your insights, and the kind of suggestions you have given, we really hope that it will make some significant changes, and we really thank you for coming in and giving us this time for this live.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. It's completely my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, guys. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining us tonight. We will keep coming back to you with more experts and more insightful stories on Glamguru. Please like, share, and follow our page on Facebook. We are also on YouTube now. There also you can watch our content. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and do think what more could be done. We are also open for a suggestion. You can send your topics as well. Inbox us on both the platforms. Till then, take your time, have a nice day, and see you soon on the same platform. Thank you very much.